And since the coin toss went as such, John, start with you. So you're the first one right now. You have 30 seconds to ask a question of Patrick, and Patrick, you have 90 seconds to respond. If you're not satisfied again, John, you get 30 seconds to ask, and you get 60 seconds to respond. So ladies, you ready for that? Thank you.
Patrick, I trust you. This is hard here. Can I have that? Gotta look away from you. Patrick, I trust that you'll agree that as an elected official and a civic leader, participating in the democratic process is vitally important. I think voting is the most important aspect of democracy and freedom and Americana that I can think of. Why have you not voted in 16 elections in the last 20 years?
Well, I'll tell you, John, I don't think that that's accurate. So I'm not really sure that I can take 90 seconds to answer the question. But I do believe very strongly in the democratic process, and at the best of my recollection, I've voted in every election since I've been here in Deschutes County. Don't believe I've missed one. You might be a little bit confused if you're looking at City of Bend elections, because of course my family and I have lived in Bend, but also out of Bend, out in North County, with the Redmond postal address. So that, I guess, is all the time I need to address that, and you can use the rest of the time.
Okay, thanks. Oh, just that I have the records, and I'll share them with you right now. So that's it.
No, I'd like to ask my question.
Okay.
So, John, you've represented that you are an experienced criminal law attorney, and at various places during your announcement speeches, you've indicated that you were a prosecutor at one point. You made the comment here tonight that you've trained prosecutors and police officers without stating that you did that in Liberia. And I don't know if you have any verification of that or not, but what I'm interested to know is about your trial work. So tell us about the last 3 murder Measure 11 cases that you took to jury trial. And maybe while you're at it, tell us how many jury trials you've had in your career.
Thanks, Patrick. I don't know where you heard me say I'm a prosecutor. I've never been a prosecutor. I've shared that. And I have trained prosecutors and police officers in war-torn countries. I don't know what the implication there is somehow that if you're in a war-torn country risking your life, helping prosecutors and police officers keep their community safe, that you're somehow not qualified to train prosecutors and police officers, that maybe because you did it here that's better. I don't quite know what that means. But I've trained prosecutors and police officers in the most godforsaken places on earth you can imagine, where people are struggling on a daily basis to survive. War-torn countries where people are macheting one another in the streets, burning people to death. And I don't know if this is an attack on me or what, but I've done that, and I did that in conjunction with the U.S. Department of State. I did it in conjunction with the UN. I did it in conjunction with the United States Agency on International Development, and I'll provide you that verification. I don't know if you're doubting that, but it seems like you might be. My last trials, you wanted me to talk about my trials? Well, that was before I left. I left Deschutes County to go train. So my final few years before I left, I tried cases in Crook County, tried cases in Deschutes County. How much time do I have left?
5 seconds. Gentlemen, thank you to you both. Oh, absolutely.
So, John, I'll give you a little more time to answer the question. You had stated earlier that you've tried homicide. In fact, I think you said murder, maybe you said homicide, and Measure 11 cases. I asked you to tell us about the last 3 Measure 11 cases that you took to jury trial, and to tell us how many jury trials you've had.
Thanks, Patrick. I didn't say murder. Homicide in Crook County. It was a vehicular homicide. Car coming down what is that, Highway 20 out there between Powell Butte and Prineville. Pickup truck coming down. Elderly woman, I think from Indiana, on a motorcycle. She was on the back of the motorcycle. Her husband was driving. The truck came across the center lane, hit her head on, just devastating. I went to view the body with the expert medical examiner. We were horrific smell, opened up the bodies, looking at the wounds. It was horrific. It was horrific. It sticks with me to this day. Also tried to measure, and we went to trial on that. Tried to measure 11 in Crook County. An awful assault. Guy that gets out of his truck. He's mad as heck. There's someone in the house. He goes up to the house, starts pounding on the door. Someone opens it, goes into the door, grabs the person out, and beats the living tar out of him. Beats the living tar out of him. And it was heck. There was a question on whether it was self-defense. There was no question about the beating. There was a question about whether it was self-defense. And we tried that case. Those are my most recent two. Thank you.
Thank you, and again, gentlemen, appreciate the time that you've both taken here today. This is, as we've mentioned, the final 2 minutes for your closing comments. And we have, as I said, gone back and forth at this time. We started the opening with John, and again, that means, John, as we alternate here, that you also will start your 2 minutes for closing comments as well. So.
I want to thank the Chamber for hosting tonight, and thank everyone for coming. And Patrick, thanks for participating. I hope we can do this again. The primary job of a district attorney is to keep us safe. Rest assured I will do that. Unfortunately, Patrick has not. You may not know this. The city of Redmond has the highest theft rate in the state for cities its size. That's unacceptable. What's also unacceptable is how Patrick abandoned Tony Martin. Tony Martin was pushing his bike across the road one night when he was mowed down by a former Les Schwab executive, Brett Deschutes. As Tony lay on that street with a cracked skull and broken bones, dying, Deschutes sped off, hid out for 3 days, hired the most expensive criminal defense attorney in the state, and Patrick allowed a plea offer in that case that resulted in Deschutes serving 55 days in jail. Deschutes recently got out of jail. Tony Martin's family will live with his death the rest of their life. They'll also live with knowing their elected district attorney abandoned them. If I'm district attorney, my team and I will aggressively prosecute crimes. There is no way I give that deal on the Deschutes case. No way. We're going to trial if we have to go to trial. I'm the right candidate at the right time. I have 12 years of criminal law trial experience. I served with passion, integrity, and distinction on the Bend City Council. I have the executive management skills this job needs. I led a team of 40 with a multi-million-dollar budget. And I'm not afraid to make the tough calls when they need to be made. Thank you, and thank you for coming out tonight.
I'm not afraid to make the tough calls either, and do that every day and have for many years. And I guess I'll need to spend some of the time here talking about Deschutes instead of talking about the accomplishments of my office over the last 3.5 or going on 4 years now. The grand jury indicted Mr. Deschutes for criminally negligent homicide and felony hit and run when a person has been killed. Under the Oregon sentencing guidelines, the sentence for each offense is identical. It's a presumptive sentence of 16 to 18 months in prison. We vigorously argued to the court to impose the maximum sentence, which was the presumptive sentence of 16 to 18 months, on the felony hit and run, because the evidence, as we approached trial, was not sufficient to go forward on the criminally negligent homicide. But it made no difference in terms of the penalty that we could obtain, and therefore the deterrence that we could obtain. It upset the Martin family because they wanted more money in their civil lawsuit, and had we been able to convict Mr. Beachside for criminally negligent homicide, they could have used that in the civil action, which I understand. But my obligation is not to assist civil counsel. I take care of crime victims. We do an excellent job with that. But in this case, what occurred was the judge made a decision, as the judge is entitled to do, though we strongly disagree, to impose less than the presumptive sentence. You can look at the court record if you'd like. You can see the state sentencing memorandum. You can get a copy of the FTR and listen to the judge's reasoning for why he didn't impose the sentence that we asked him to impose. So that's really a cheap shot. I wanted to say, ladies and gentlemen, or ask you to just please look at the record, and if you have questions, contact me or anyone associated with my campaign. I would be honored to serve as your DA for another 4 years and continue the great work that my office has been doing. Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please give a round of applause for the time taken here this evening to both of these gentlemen. Thank you, John. Thank you, Patrick. Also like to announce that I know my partner moderator here, Kelly, will have some information on NewsTalk 1110 KBND. Going back this evening to put things together. It'll air tomorrow. I know Aaron will do some follow-up, and we have several of the media here amongst us, including KTVZ, the Bulletin, and others who have registered. A reminder that the Bend Chamber is putting it up on YouTube, and that there will be information out there. My understanding is there will be another forum potentially down the road with the League of Women Voters. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and the date on that is?
I believe it's April 15th.
April 15th. So you can follow up there as well. That is what I know for sure. Thank you all tonight here. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate your time and the energy and the professionalism shown. And the same to you, Kelly, and helping us put together, hopefully, not only one great debate tonight, but more to come throughout this year. Thank you to all our chamber members in supporting of the events, and a thank you to all of you. Please fill out the surveys and get those back to the folks here. We look forward to seeing you again next month.